Today, we're going to be taking a look at some stock market news, starting with Liberation Day, which is coming up. What is it? What does it mean to investors? And I'm going to touch on two stocks that I hold small positions of in my portfolio and take a look at what's going on the stock market related to them today. But first, Liberation Day. We're seeing headlines everywhere about President Trump's measures that he is taking when it comes to these tariffs. Liberation Day refers to April 2nd, 2025, when the new tariffs imposed by the US government are set to take effect. The tariffs were initially introduced during Trump's administration and were aimed at reducing America's reliance on foreign goods and protecting domestic industries, which sounds great, but this is something very sudden that he is putting into place. And as the consumers, we are the ones that are going to be impacted. The tariffs cover a large range of products, especially from China, impacting technology, consumer electronics, manufacturing, cars, and many different things that we may not even realize. So, in time, we will see if all of this affects our basic necessities, like our pet products and our paper goods, for example. But this move has investors and businesses divided. Yes, he is aiming to strengthen the US industry, but the fear is that we're going to be impacted long term by higher costs to the companies, which are then going to be passed on to us, the consumers. Now, what does this do to the stock market? This leads to volatility. Whenever major policies are changed, like tariffs are introduced, uncertainty rises, leading to stock market swings. This is especially impacting the tech sector. Companies like Meta and Apple and Tesla rely heavily on global supply chains that could face increased costs due to all of these tariffs that are coming. So, as we've already touched on, what is going to be the impact to the consumers? Higher tariffs are going to lead to higher prices on our everyday products, potentially slowing consumer spending, which will affect the company's revenue. I know in my personal budget, I have no room for increased costs, so I'm going to make every effort that I can in order to keep my costs low, potentially evaluating more closely my wants and needs in order to save money. So that's what's coming up as far as tariffs. We will see what happens if negotiations take place, what the overall impact will be as time goes on. Now, let's take a look at Meta, and they are pulling back today. And this article highlights a combination of the sell off too and related to upcoming Liberation Day, as well as one analyst lowering the price target. And that was Jeffries, which lowered the price target from Meta to 725 from 810. So Meta year to date is down 1.56%. And even in this tough market, they are doing better than most of the tech giants have in Q1 of 2025. Meta stock is down this quarter, but it's outperformed other big names like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. What's the reason for this? Meta has a strong ad revenue, and they've been making cost cutting measures and growing in the area of AI, artificial intelligence. But they still have challenges. Their ad sales growth is slowing. There are concerns related to the tariffs and how that could impact Meta's costs, especially if tensions with China escalate. And there are many investors that are not long term investors that have decided to let it go and lock in their profits, those gains that they were up already last year when the stock was really surging. On the day, Meta is down just slightly, 0.06%. And looking back over the last year, it's up 17.30%. Meta is a newer addition to my portfolio and one that is known a strong recovery even after it dips down drastically when it comes to their share price. So if you've been here before, I am a long-term investor, and this is one I'm going to hold on to, even though it is currently down on the year. But Many of my investments are down on the year, down on the day, but I'm still significantly up and I'm holding on to them long term. So I'm focused on where they are going in the future. So, small position, only 1.6 shares when it comes to my Meta stock, and I'm currently up 14.99%. My average price is $501.26, one that's currently on my radar because my goal is to buy low. Now, let's take a look at ticker symbol CORT, Corcept Therapeutics. This stock is at the top of the top gainers list. You can see right here, it's up over 100% today. So, why is this stock soaring? Corcept Therapeutics stock announced that their ovarian cancer drug met primary goals in a late stage clinical trial. So, this announcement related to the phase 3 trial of this drug led to a huge jump in the stock price today. The results showed a 30% reduction in disease progression risk compared to chemotherapy alone. So, this is a huge development when it comes to cancer treatment, and it was significant in the potential of the revenue growth for this particular company, Corcept. And today, analysts quickly boosted their price forecast when it comes to this particular company due to the potential of its expansion. So, positive drug trials can send stocks soaring, and that's what happened here. This has Corcept positioned to bring this drug to market and secure regulatory approval, and all of this is just leading to the potential for bigger gains for the company. But when it comes to this type of stock, they can be volatile. While good news is positive, there is still risk because there is FDA approval as well as potential competition. So on the day, Corcept is up 109.08%. Year to date, it's up 126.67%. I put in a small order of 2 shares back in December and it filled in January. And I'm currently up 121.25%. And here's a quick clip as to why I added it into my portfolio. So last month, I was watching a video by Keenan Grace, and he was highlighting 3 stocks to consider for 2025. And he mentioned a profitable pharmaceutical company, ticker symbol CORT. So the current stock price is $60. On the month, it's up 18.17%. So I put in an order on December 23rd for 2 shares at $48, and my order filled on January the 3rd, and I'm already up 24.69%. Only 2 shares. Wish I had added more to the position, but I'll be watching it and trying to decide if I'm going to add more into my portfolio. If I'm going to be able to hold it throughout 2025, I'll have to assess the volatility and decide if I'm going to place a stop loss and what that amount will be. And taking a look at 5 analyst ratings on the Mumu Investing app, they all rated it 100% a buy. And they're giving an average price target of $74.63 and a high of 80. So when it comes to building my portfolios, more often I think to myself, I wish I invested more then. I wish I didn't add this into my portfolio. And I am not one who is going to be sitting on the sidelines, even in a bear market, a market pullback, a hard recession, whatever we are going through. I'm going to continue to invest and hold long term. I have confidence in the investments that I have added to my portfolio, into the ETFs that I have as my foundational investments, and definitely in the recovery that I believe that they will have even after going through these rough times. So what's ahead? Let's be ready for the volatility that these tariffs will bring because many companies are heavily reliant on international trade. These tech giants are going to be under pressure, and many of my investments are tech heavy, but I'm diversified in other investments and ready and willing to hold those ones that are going to be in the red for a while. As always, I'll be keeping an eye on the news and the upcoming earnings reports when it comes to my investments. I encourage you to keep an eye out on Meta and other investments that you've been wanting to build up in your portfolio, because as we've been seeing with the direction that the stock market has been taking this year and leading up towards Liberation Day and the weeks and months to follow, we could see great buying opportunities like we're seeing right here in this headline. When I think back to 2022 or 2008, I wish I had the mindset that I have today. This new administration and Liberation Day is bringing a lot of changes to the stock market. Let's continue to stay informed. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not already, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell. Share your thoughts on the upcoming tariffs. Are you holding Meta or CORT in your portfolios? How are those positions looking for you today, especially CORT after that huge run up? Are you going to continue holding long term, or are you letting yours go? Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. How are you going to handle the market volatility when it comes to these tariffs? Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.